Ah, okay, so I'm live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to check out to see if the audio is working. Hopefully it is, or else you're just getting silence. So let's go to the YouTube, as I normally do. And then I go back, close that. And then I turn it up, or turn it on actually even. Turn it on, turn it on, turn it on. Well, that's handy. Let's try that again. Seems like the YouTube isn't YouTubing very much at the moment. Let's see. View channel. Okay, this is not looking good. Oh, there we go. Excellent. Now I'm just to flip this up. Can I? Okay, this is not looking good. Oh, there we go. Excellent. Now I'm just to flip this up. Can I? Okay, this is not looking good. Oh, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly turn that down. I'm going to turn the machine on just to see what the sound like. Whoa, there it goes. In case you're interested, I just caught that. It was amazing. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a very similar to Minecraft situation going on with that image. I'm not happy with it. Seems that we've got an awful lot of fuzz today. I wonder how I can improve this. Making sure that no other items are attached. I think that's the best I can do. We'll see how things go. Hopefully it'll clean up during the day. Maybe too many people are squeezing the internet juice out of the internet today. Naughty, naughty people squeezing internet when I'm the only person who's allowed to squeeze the internet. Everyone knows that. So what are we going to do today? I've just literally picked one off the ground. Hello there, Rice Villipans, I think. Villipan. Okay. How you doing? You're about to see an amazing show of cutting opal. Well, something's going to happen. So what I've noticed is, well, what I haven't, it's not that what I've noticed, it's because what I'm going to be doing today is very often I do sell the opals that I cut. And so I've got a few completed examples of opal here today. So I'm going to hopefully display them because I mentioned to some people that the opal that I'm cutting today will be on the live stream. So, or the opal that I'm selling will be on the live stream. So hopefully this is all going to work out well. So here's one of them. This guy is around about a 3 carat beauty and it's got some green sitting next to blue, which is pretty good. It's an amazing stone. I'm going to pop that one away and I'm going to show you this guy here. Told you amazing opal will be seen. I might have to recut this one, but it's still a nice opal. So it's got a mossy face pattern on it. And you can see that if you just look into it, you can notice that this opal, it's got a few little issues with it, and I can straighten that out and make it look absolutely schmick. So I think that's what I'm going to do with it. It's got a few things. I need to cut the bottom of it. So just so that you know, the back is as important as the front, and that back needs to be straightened out a bit. But that's no trouble. And have a look at this guy here. This is an absolute monster sitting in maybe 10, 15 carats. It's enormous. And it's an opal to die for. It's an amazing stone. It's huge. Let me just bring it right up to the camera so you can see what we're dealing with. We're dealing with an absolute whopper. So it's not the most spectacular of colours, but it is very spectacular in terms of size. So that one, nice purpley blue colour. Those guys always impress. So what I'll do is I'll show you a few others that are just sitting in there in their respective cases, just so that you can see there are some that I'm going to have to recut, like this one. This guy here is a really good opal, but let me open up the case and show you. Just taking it out. The back is not one that can easily be set. So what I've got to do is I've got to fix it up. This was one that was cut very early on when I didn't know what jewelers needed. You can see there's a little bit on the side there, and I opted to keep that piece of junk on the side because I thought, you know, I've got to go make for the carats. But no, you don't. This opal is spectacular enough. I don't need to make any excuses for it. I just cut that bit off and accept the lower size. So that guy will be cut, so I'm actually going to stick him over there. I've got to keep that case nice and clean, because no good having a great opal with a dirty case. Let me have a look at the other ones that we've got here. This guy I might have to clean up, but I'll clean this one up off camera. It is a beautiful stone. I don't know if you can actually see it. I don't think that its true colours are actually being shown. It is it's just got sparkle everywhere. What I can tell you is, knowing my cameras, if you know what my cameras are like, if I can show you any colour whatsoever, then you know it's a good stone. Here is an Andamuka matrix stone. So you can see some of the colour poking through, and that's a whopper at 10 or 15 carats again. Andamuka matrix usually goes for a little bit less than Boulder or Lightning Ridge or Opal. Speaking of Cooper Pedy Opal, however, have a look at these guys. These are sister stones, and they're made from shell opal. So these are absolute stunners. If you saw them in person, if you saw them in person, you'd be like, amazing. This one's not too good. This one has to be seen to be believed. It's got red sitting next to green. Let me see if I can see a spot of blue. Yeah, there is blue. So there's red on blue on this one. So this is the most desirable kind of color pattern. And I don't know, what would I call that? Yippee! Hello, your girl. So have a look at those ones. Those colors are just absolutely stunning. Like I said, my camera just does not do justice to any of these opals. It usually doesn't show up any color. So if you're seeing any color, that's good. But this is just, yeah, this is off the charts. It's an amazing color. So this guy's sitting here at about 1 carat, and I had a look at the shine earlier on. It is absolutely to die for. So what else have we got? I think that's all of the opals I'm going to show you. I'm going to fix up one of them, of course, on screen, and I might fix up 1 or 2 of them off screen. But that's the kind of thing we've got today. We've also got a whole heap of rough sitting here. I'm going to show you an example of some of the rough. That's a boulder. I'm not going to show you that one. Okay, we've got these guys here. Basically, I love these stones. You can actually see a little bit of color poking through on this one even. That might be a bit deceptive. I'm just looking at it in true light, and I can't see very much. So the camera's light sensor is picking up something which I'm not. Either that or I'm going blind. You know, they say don't do that or go blind. Apparently cutting opal is it. So there is that one. Yeah, you can see a little bit sitting there. This guy, I literally found it whilst I was mucking around in my spare opal drawer. So this guy, I will have a quick look at it. But more importantly, I've got a few really amazing stones that I'm probably going to be cutting. I've got this guy here. This one has got wall-to-wall colour on it. Now, whether the colour ends up spectacular or not, I don't know. The challenge here is it's very thin. So this is the back of the stone, which has still got colour on it. This is the front that I cut earlier, but this was really early in my, I suppose call it opal cutting career. I didn't know what I was doing. So this is just a rescue job, which will probably end up looking pretty spectacular if I do it right. Happy to do that. Just looking at it now. Yeah, there's plenty of spots that can be remediated. Yeah, I have a definite game plan for this guy. So firstly, what I'll be doing is this corner here is going because it's too thin And what I can do is I can turn that corner into a doublet. What I have noticed is I don't know necessarily what side I'll be facing up, but if you have a look on the side, harder to see with the camera angles. Like I said, the camera doesn't pick up the colours very easily, but you can see just the blue on the corner there. That blue, I will try to extenuate or extend that blue. And also the ends here on this side is really, really thin. This is really thin, so that entire end is going to go. So you're going to be getting a stone that's looking like about that size. That's a pretty decent stone. It's probably going to be in the shape of a drop, but we'll see. A drop is like a teardrop. So that one is going to be on here. Now we've got this guy. This is from our good friend Riley Gunn. This is uncut Anamuka matrix. Now I've got two options here. There's a chunk of opal that is sitting here that is not displaying very much colour. Now, Anamuka matrix is very different in that you've got rock and opal mixed together in a kind of a matrix, like a sandstone. The stuff that cements the sand together is called matrix. And so this is exactly the same kind of concept, except it's done with opal. Precious opal at that. Now, you can see that you've got this situation where you've got this spot in the middle, which is not doing much. But on the other side, you've got plenty happening, but it's not as vivid as the spots which are happening over here. So we've got a decision to make. Which side do we face up? Do we take a risk, do this one, hope we get heaps of colour, or do we do this one? Not as spectacular, but at least we know what's going on. So that's a good question. We'll be answering that today. And there is a similar chunk of Anamuka matrix just sitting here. And I do believe we have the same problem. We've got it on the side here. Nice bit of colour on the side. Nice bit of colour on the side. When you see colours on the side, which are doing better than the colours on the top, that's called facing. So we've got a facing issue. What I could possibly try with this one is to kind of slice diagonally along the stone to try and get that stone to pop out a bit more, to get more of that facing. That can be done. So we've got those guys ready to go. And it just keeps on going. We've got some interesting decisions to make. For example, I've got some belemnites. So I've got this thing here. This is a chunk of belemnite, very small chunk. Do I keep it or do I just cut it and see what we get? That's an interesting question. I think I'm going to keep this one because you can see a line going along here, and that is actually original to the belemnite. In case you're interested, belemnites are a fossil kind of opal, and so these are actually essentially fossilized squid. Here's another example of it. You can see this kind of looks like a squid tube. It's not exactly the same. It's its shell, and it was a big pointy shell. So what I do know is I'm having a look here. I know there's some discoloration just here. I am all but certain that if I cut into that, I would actually find some beautiful colours. But it's a fossil. As a general rule, you don't mess with fossils. So I'll leave that one till last. That decision is not one I'm going to be easily making. Now, this is another belemnite, just to give you an idea of what they do. Tiny little one, of course. But you can see all that beautiful colour. Hopefully, anyway. Lots of beautiful colour sitting in there. It's very soft and subtle, but it's a beautiful little stone. Now, I'm just having a look at it here. It's got a crack right through the middle of it. So if I am to do anything with this belemnite, I will have to cut through the crack, and I really don't want to do that. But we'll see. I'll come closer to that decision a little bit later. What I can see, however, is a beautiful bit of red just here, and we're looking for reds. Blues are nice and all, but reds are the colour that make the coin. Here we have something here that's a little bit special as far as I'm concerned. This is called a boulder opal, except there is no boulder. Well, there's very little boulder in it. That's kind of rare. So it's a best practice to actually keep the boulder in the boulder opal, but we don't have much of an option here. There is a hole going all the way through this here. See if you can spot that. That hole goes all the way through. So we're going to have to, in some way, shape or form, truncate this stone. You can see that there's actually a lot of nothing going on here. So I'll probably be cutting from here to here and down here. And there's a line going across here. So that entire line's probably going to go. It goes off at a little bit of an angle. So probably the first line of defense here is to cut this material off here at the angle, turn that into a nice little ring stone, because that'll give me 1 or 2 carats, and 1 or 2 carats is not to be sneezed at. From there, I will be having a look at the rest of it, and depending on how things go, I might have to change the plan. And that's all right. What I can see here is that there's some painted lady that's going on here, so I might have to cut again along here and get that out, and then when we're done with that, I'll just polish whatever's left here as a stone. So I may get 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 stones out of this guy. So that'll be an interesting little challenge. Now, always when I'm doing these sorts of things, I look through my material and I try and find the most uninspiring knobbies available. The reason why I do that is because sometimes you get rewards, and it is always fun to play lotto with knobbies. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you've probably never seen an opal cutting channel before. I'm not being rude. Oh, these are opals. Yeah, we saw opal. Here, have a look at this guy. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. This is one I cut a long time ago, and I might have to reshape it. Here's another one I cut a long time ago, and it's nice enough, but the back is terrible. So I'm gonna have to deal with the back, and I'm gonna have to make it a little bit smaller. So there you go. You've seen some opal. I was not lying. So at any rate, I've got some knobbies here. If you don't know what knobbies are, it's not me being rude. A knobby is just basically a little cavity which has had some opal form with some nematodes, believe it or not. And so these little things, they might or might not produce good results. Usually not, but when they do produce results, they produce really good ones. Here's another one. This is almost gone to seam opal, this knobby. But what I'm also doing is I'm taking the opportunity to look at, yeah, there, okay. So looking at it through the camera lens, you can actually see frequencies that your own eyes can't see. So there's actually some colors which are bumping off this. So I will be cutting that part of it. I know what part to cut. I'll try and grab another knobby. Actually, I'll grab a nice big stone if I can find one. Is this one a nice big one? The stones that I'm using are all up here. I've got a nice selection of stones with colour combined with stones with what looks like no potential whatsoever. Yeah, so I've got this guy here. This guy here is a partial cut from a long time ago, and I'll try and rescue and salvage that one. That'll be nice. Got some other ones here. I'm just going to try and find something that'll produce a nice result. For those who are interested, tax time has happened, and so that means that I will be investing my tax return in a giant amount of opal. You cannot stop me. Yeah. 18 watching, 2 likes. Yeah, it's amazing. I reckon you should get into the live streaming business, my good friend Opal guy. Sorry, I'm just looking at this stone. This one doesn't look particularly spectacular, so I'm not using it. This one here, however, this one will give us some results. But first things first, let's get stuck into this boulder opal. Tell me if the noise gets too uncomfortable. It should be okay because I've tested it. Alright. So first things first, I said that oh, don't worry. The moment I make my pile, I'm going over to wherever you are. No idea where you are, really. Hit you further north in the US. And I'm going to drag you onto a live stream. You won't be able to choose. Alright, so let me see. Cutting this bit off. In case you didn't hear me yabbering on before, opal guy, believe it or not, this is a boulder opal. It's usually bad form to cut the backing off the boulder opal. Through that, and Believe it or not, I've had a tooth extracted recently, and I will be shaping that up on a live stream, I reckon, or on a video. And I will put a warning of some description. And there it goes. There's the first cut. Now we need to fill it with a nice filling. So having a look underneath, not a bad little stone, really. Let me just get rid of that material. Or not. The reason why I'm not necessarily going to get rid of that material is because I'm going to have to cut through this bit, and I have a feeling that if I just cut it like this, we might be able to take advantage of that material as backing. Could get all hopelessly wrong, but you know. Well, nearly lost control of it. That would have been bad. Did lose control of it. That was bad. That was okay, so I held on to the important bit. Let's have a look and see if I was right. So here's the back. Here's the top. Let's just cut that top off. As you can see, every time I'm wanting to keep a certain part, the other bit just drops off. So the other bit retains, and I am left with a bit I didn't want. That's alright. In a second, I'm just going to go and get the major piece. So this piece, not bad, but it's not the major player here. Here's one major player, and where's the other major player gone? It's just down here somewhere. There it is. I think we might have a winner here. Might have to cut it through here, but I think we've got some very, very nice stone here. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut through here. I don't mind they're very small. Okay. Okay. So that was my daughter who just opened the door and just told me, explained her great affection to me. Oh yes, that's nice. It's good to know that your children love you. Right. So here we go. Just looking, there might be something else that I need to clean up on this opal, but for the time being, I'm happy with what I've got. Funny thing is that now that I'm doing this opal cutting a lot, when I do go to the dentist, I say, what grit are you using? Still don't like getting drilled into. I think that's a feature of humanity known as common sense. I've got a very, very small stone, and I would back myself to cut it, except you should always be a little bit conservative with your stones, and if you've got a better way, you use that better way, and this better way happens to be just putting it on a dopstick and cutting it with greater precision. Just so that you know, it's a bit too high. There's this thing on the top, so I'm just going to carve that back, and hopefully that'll get rid of some of the sand as well, without me having to do too much to it. And I'm also angling it towards the green material so that we've got something to work with. Okay, so there's two things that this tells me. The first one is definitely dopstick. The second one is I think that this will have to be a doublet probably, but we'll see what happens. So that's our first of the complete one. Tink into the container the third. Now whilst I'm taking a bit of a break, I think I will cover up this opal. This one. Sorry, I've got a few opals that I'm just covering up. That one. Oh well. That one there. Right. Good. And sorry, I'm just putting the covers on my opals just to make sure that everything doesn't get damaged. Right. Putting those away now. And I'm picking up the boulder. Like I keep telling people, you're able to tell how old a person is by the number of groans and creaks they make when they stand up or sit down. There's a tiny fragment of boulder opal here that I'm just going to... Yeah, that's good enough, I reckon. Nice little fragment. In it goes. Next one. Next one, I'm making a decision between this piece and this piece. What I might do is I might make the final cut on this piece, see if I can get something nice happening. And what I'm doing is I'm just clearing some of the material away to see if there's any better direction to cut. Just looking at it outside, and I'm just going to clear some of this stuff away. If it clears up, but it's not clearing up, it's going deeper in there. So what I think is going to happen is this. First things first, I'm going to carve it around the defect. Now the advantage of that I didn't mention is that this opal actually, even though it looks nice from this side, it actually faces up a bit different. So, okay. Seems that my my camera's gotten back into the game. There it goes. Alright, so that's one piece. And it's looking quite nice. A bit two-toned, these ones, so the thinner the pieces don't tend to do particularly well with the colour, but that's alright. We just work with what we got, So far I've gotten 3 or 4 carats of workable opal, so certainly can't complain. Quickly do the back a bit, make sure it's looking a bit schmick, and check to see if the back is actually doing any better than the front, which it might be actually. So let's just give that back a bit more of a zhuzhing. So zhuzh away. There we go. Now just get rid of that waste material there. For those people who are wondering what they're watching, you're watching opals being cut. Also, at the end of this stream, usually, if the Americans haven't gone to sleep, but I am Australian, so I've got a little while to go yet, I'll be messing around with my birds. I've built a new perch for one of my cockatoos. Well, both of them really, because it's an external perch. This opal is ready to go to the drop stick. There we go, into the tink it goes. So looking at the side of this opal, you can see exactly what's going on here. We've got what's called the kernel, and that is not the representative of KFC. That is a piece of opal which is formed against another piece of opal, probably at a later time. So that explains why everything's happening the way it is, why it's so two-toned. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one. I think there's very little point in keeping this tiny little sliver of opal. There's very little point in keeping that. So we'll have a stone that looks roughly like that when we're done. It'll be mostly oval, which is good, and we'll have a tiny little 1 carat stone as a result of that. And it all adds up. If you're like $100 a stone, for example, and see, this is my channel, I can say whatever I like. At $100 a stone, on average, that means if you get 5 or 6 stones, it's $500 or $600. It's not worth. It's not a huge fortune, but it's also not worth sneering at either. So it's all very good. And especially you, Opal guy, I've been looking at your stones. I think that you could get more for them. I think that you were worried about the fact that your stones were freeform, but I think your polishing really is lovely. So freeform, well-polished stone. Somebody wants some kind of really weird ring shape. Yep. I reckon they'll take that, Opal. Okay, so I'm going to take this section off here too. This is really instructive, by the way, because this is boulder opal, not lightning ridge. But the opal itself is just like butter. It is really, really beautiful to touch. There you go. It's soft. As an aside, it seems that the left-hand side of my machine is grabbing today, so it's pulling all of the opal away. But that's okay. It's not hurting anything. So there's another little 1 carater. Not even 1 carat. This will be 0.5 of a carat if I'm lucky. That's a boulder opal. Looks just like a lightning ridge, but oh, look at there we go. So it's got their colour on this side. That's where it's facing, so I might just get a bit of a zhoosh that side. There you go. Perhaps I will carve this down here. So, yeah, okay. So what I'll do is I'll pop that in and I'll figure out how to slice it before the dot stick. Because I've got so much other opal, I don't really have time to worry about it. Slight dilemma here, I might just have to get rid of the sand that's just there, but it's got a lot of good opal on top. This is just some of the choices you have to make from time to time. What I'm doing now is I'm just rounding off any sharp edges, because at the moment I'm still deciding what to do, what the game plan is. And it's okay if you don't really have a good game plan to just set the stone down and have another go later on. So what I'm seeing is the angle at which the thing is facing, and I'm going, is there a better angle to look at it? Is it anything? Okay, so there's some blues coming through on the opposite side, so what I'll do is I'll just cut it to accentuate the blues. Maybe this guy wants to be a double-sided opal. And if it does, I will do everything to encourage its green. Because it's so buttery soft, it chips very easy. So it's like a lightning ridge that chips like a poo petey, in case anyone is wondering what a pure boulder opal cut's like. For those people who are not familiar with cutting opals, I don't mind that you're not. Welcome to the channel and enjoy every minute of it, because one day I just saw a guy cutting opals, and it was Black Opal Direct. Not Dan. Robin. No, it's not Robin. It's oh well, it's a guy. Black Opal Direct. And I just watched him cutting his opals. He was using a very different machine, but probably similar thoughts are going through my head that are going through yours if you've seen this for the first time. And that is, are you sure you're not going to get cut? To which the answer is no. It's quite safe, this machine. Hello, Daphne. Dog's just come out. And then I just saw him doing it, and because he's a quite an accomplished opal cutter, and he's got all the contacts, he's got some good stones. And so me, I make do with what I could find. I'm not complaining. But this guy was, just cut a stone, and he'd go, oh yeah, that'll be worth about $10,000. I'd be like, really? So I went and bought some rough. For the first couple of weeks I was cutting it and going, oh, this will be $10,000. That's not exactly how it works, but still quite fun. Yeah, it's facing up nicely from beneath, from underneath, from the ether. So what I've just been doing for this is simply cutting away the stone that needed to be cut away. And if you do that, you end up accidentally almost facing the stone up correctly and accidentally getting yourself a nice little ring stone. And this guy is sitting in at, I would call it, I'll call that 3 carats, I reckon. I have a suspicion that this stone isn't as dense as some stones might end up being, so I'm not necessarily going to hang my hat on it weight, but nice little stone. A lot of people, opal guy included, will weigh the stone before they cut it. I'm like, nah, I'll just cut it. Because when you buy it in an opal package, it gives you the weight and you know how much you're paying per carat. And I'm not saying these people are wrong for doing so. It's just that when you cut an opal, well, for me, I just cut an opal based on its merits, not how much I paid for it. And I allow the averages, the law of averages, to work themselves out rather than worrying too much about it. I'm making X amount of dollars on this stone. Because if you do that, you're going to get really sad, because a lot of times you do make a loss. Justin from Black Opal Direct, that's the guy's name. Hi, I'm Justin from Black Opal Direct, and I've got this stone. It's a lovely stone. Reminds me of my dad. So there you go, I've given you a bit of Justin from Black Opal Direct. That needs to go to his channel now, because I told you that. That's alright. Did you see his stuff? Go for it. Just don't go off my channel to see his channel. Because I'll just have to get, I don't know, a little bit angry or something. To do the angry parent approach, there will be consequences. Never identify the consequences. At the moment, I'm angling the stone just to get the best cut, just so that you know, the blade is cutting down that way, and so you've kind of got to angle the stone to make sure that you're leaving as little exposed to the moving blade as possible. That will avoid things from flying off the stone. You've got to give it nice smooth edges, and you've got to make sure that you're just a little bit sensible of the way you do things. Alright, decision time. Should I I think I'm going to have to face this thing up for this side here. This side here also might be good, but I definitely see results with the other side. So what I'm doing is I'm giving that side the best chance possible. You really don't get that much more for double-sided stone, and this guy will be double-sided, either or, so it doesn't matter, but I'll definitely be concentrating on the opposite side, this side, more than I'll be concentrating on the other side. Presuming, of course, that's not a crack. I'm going to assume it's not a crack, and we're just going to keep on going regardless, because nothing bad ever happens on this channel. No. I think we're okay. Famous last words, of course. I really should get the orchestra out to do the dramatic music. Will it crack? Bum, 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 bum. That's enough beatboxing for today. Did you feel suspenseful? It's one of those UK murder shows. You have to have a not a clarinet, a oboe. Whenever you hear the oboe, you know someone's about to die in the peaceful village. Inspector Stephen needs to go and visit and make sure everything's going okay. And they're always in the village for another reason, like, oh, let's go and attend the fair. Let's attend the definitely nothing murdery happening here fair. Oh no, someone's been murdered. What a shame. Well, let's go and investigate the townsfolk. And everyone has got a terrible, terrible story. Like, I hate you. We've had a family feud running for 15 million years. But I didn't do it because I was over here at the baker's baking a piece of bread. That's not him. And it's always the most innocent looking person who's just almost an extra in the background. Yes, it is I, the disabled guy. Oh, hang on, Stephen Hawking's voice. Yes, it is I, disabled man. Because all of the people did not like disabled people. So I ran him over with my wheelchair. Really likely stuff. Great murder mysteries they are. Now that is a nice little stone. Beautiful little stone. What I'm trying to do is just make it a bit more rounded. Just so you know, I also work in the Justice Department, and I have a message from my boss. No one ever goes, I confess in the witness stand. I'm sorry. So every single murder mystery show or, detective / courtroom show that you ever see, someone confessing in the witness stand? Nah, they don't. What I will do for you guys, however, is when there is some particularly notorious criminal at the court, because I'm in Sydney Court, which is where all of the really high-profile cases go. I've asked the security guards for permission to film. And what I'll do is I'll film the exit. So if you've ever seen one of those news shows where, And Steve Smith has come out of the courtroom, and we'll see if we can get some questions. Steve, did you really kill the guy? My client will not be answering any questions. You know, that kind of rubbish. I can show you what it looks like from their perspective. It's kind of interesting. So there's an opal. That's a beauty. That's an absolute smasher. I did not expect to see that. Alright. Into the jar it goes. What I'll do is I will get this guy, and I will see if I can spruce this up. Now, quite frankly, I could cut it, but I can just do that. Ta-da! There's another cut that can be made as well, here. Because there's some stuff in the top of it. And there's also another cut that should be made here. There we go. That'll save some opal cutting juice. I'll just take some of this rock off, because this is barely consider it to be boulder, really. Usually boulder opals in Australia happen on ironstone. I'm led to believe that that's not necessarily the case all over the world, so you never know. So that's going onto a dop stick. I'm not going to bother making any more of it, because ain't nobody got time for that. And this, I've got warnings flickering on my phone, and it's very distracting. Now that's a nice piece of opal just there, so let's see if I can very carefully get it. I'm going to have to cut it down that area. It's a bit of a shame, but you know, better than trimming it down to that spot and losing all of it. Yeah, so there's a tiny little opal there. That'll be a nice tiny little opal, but I'm not worrying about it today. There's also a lot going down in various places, so I've got to be careful here. Here we go. Hey! Bad opal. Naughty opal. How dare you! I'll give you a piece of my mind. I tell you. If you're doing that, you naughty, naughty opal. Here we go. Whee! Down it goes. So, I think that's the one. I'll just finish off with this one because it seems to be flinging a lot, so I'm probably pushing my luck now. So that's going straight, I'll show it to you before I go. That one's going straight into the jar of happiness. Why have I called it the jar of happiness? I don't know. Because it's a happy jar. There we go. This is just one of the other squiggles of opal that I've been working with. From the same thing. Yeah, we're going to have to get rid of that. There's a black bit. It's not going to get any better. Get rid of that. I can't complain because there's been so much opal cut from this one. So much opal. It's all boulder that's acting like lightning ridge, so I don't think I can do anything with that piece, so I'm not going to worry about it. What's this? Okay, so the gift just keeps on giving. This is another piece which is just flung off at some point. You've probably seen it. That's going to be about a carat. That's a whopper. So, yeah, I'm not exaggerating to say that I might be able to get $500 for all of this from this one package, and I don't think from memory it cost me very much at all. Don't quote me on this, but I think it might have even cost me as little as $1. Before you start deciding that you're going to invest in OPAL, however, let me just explain something to you. I buy a lot of things for $1, and every time I buy something for $1, it costs $10 to transport it to my house. So, and that's $10 US. So it's not cheap. And then you've got to have all this equipment sorted out. A Gem Master or something like that costs several $1,000s. My setup cost me, and I kid you not, $7. But that is very rare. If you know what you're doing, yeah, sure, go ahead. You should be able to get something. What? No, bad. Sorry, I've just logged out of my own live stream. Thank you. Going back, making sure that everything's still going. Have a quick look at my thumbnail. That OPAL is very blurry. So what I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to quickly clean this guy up. So this is a beautiful little OPAL, and I don't really want to mess it up too much, but I have to, because, well, you just need to have a nice OPAL. It's also very slippery because it's been shined quite well. There's no further influence from that piece of sand. But there's a piece of sand here that I have to get rid of. I don't like doing it, I just have to do it, because if you keep it there, it just won't set properly. So, and what I mean by set is the jeweler won't be able to set it. And jewelers hate setting opals because they're very soft stones, and you can break any stone when you're chucking it in a setting. So you do everything you can to make the odds good for the jeweler when they're setting the stone. What I'm going to do with this guy, because it's kind of lending itself to it anyway, I'm going to give it a little bit of a raised point so that you can literally pop that raised point into the setting. I don't know if it's going to be helpful or not, but I'm doing it anyway. Good on me. Just getting rid of some of the sand on the back. If we have no sand, then it's nicer. Sand there as well. Look, I can't complain about the sand because without sand you don't have OPAL. Because OPAL is hydrated silica, but you know, sometimes you get a bit sick of all the sand you have to clean through. So I've got this setup that puts water everywhere, and I think I just popped a lung full of vaporized water from the OPAL. Yeah. So what have I got here? Okay, so what I'm looking at it now, because I've cut all the stuff that I need to cut off it, is there a way that I can shape it better? And I think there is. Just trying to... We'll take that down. I think that'll make life a bit easier for everyone. Any further down and it won't be stable. What have we got here? got a beautiful little pattern. I'm just trying to think what that would be. It's not mossy. Sorry, you can't even see it. I'll call it mosaic. I think we're being a bit cheeky calling it mosaic, but certainly not fish skin. Can't remember which one. I think they call it salmon skin or tuna skin. Okay, so that's turned out quite well. I'll have to clean up the edges, but yeah, it's looking a lot better than it was. So success for that stone. Now, should I do one of the matrices? Oh, hello there. Oh, we're going to say $500. That's just for the stone itself, and I'm being a bit generous with the price. The exact price, I don't know, but there were so many small fragments of that particular stone. Like, you can still see a fragment here that I could turn into an opal if I really wanted to. Well, that'd only give me $20 or so, but because I've got another $20 fragment right here, and a few $100 fragments and maybe a $400 fragment. I mean, it all adds up. And people buy opals for their collections. I know that there are people who people have bought them for me just because they like collecting opals. Other times, I'm wanting to branch out into actually making the jewellery myself. There's another $20 stone should I want to make the effort. But yeah, the stones themselves should be worth that amount of money. And that's even at a relatively low price. Now, Opal Guy might disagree with me because I notice that he's regularly undervaluing his stones. But especially in the United States, you have a very good market for opals compared to Australia anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'll let okay, live premiere Sunday. Look out for Opal Guy stuff. Excellent, mate. How are you feeling, by the way? Are you feeling a bit better? If I might be so bold. This is an Anamuka matrix supplied by none other than Wiley Gun, in case you're interested. It's gone a bit too hard on the sugar backing, I think. Let's have a look. Thank you for spruiking for me, my friend Opal Guy. And if you're feeling kindly towards me or anyone, like and subscribe to the Opal Guy too. I'm sitting here on just under 1,100 subs, which is, nice, not quite monetizable yet. But Opal Guy, you might be the 300th subscriber, I think. Or if we go well, you might be the 400th subscriber. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm very curiously checking out the underside of this opal. The top side I know about, the underside not so much, and I think it's looking good. So I think it was a good decision. But this is YouTube, so all my decisions are good, regardless of whether they're good or not. I'm just going to increase the flow rate a little bit. I'm just tipping more water into the top of the internal machine. Don't worry, Jake, my back is starting to hurt, so I don't think I'll be able to do a good tapping much longer. Welcome. by the way. Okay. What are we looking like now? Yeah, that's going to be better. Okay. For those who don't know, this channel is a bit of a weird one in that I do opals and then, randomly cockatoos. I think cockatoos was first because I started this channel up when I rescued Max, basically. I did have Loki for a while. That's a wee bit too much. Still a wee bit too much. Still a wee bit too much. We'll give it one more little, take a few wheat bits out of it. I suppose that's an Australian saying. You probably don't know what that means. A few wheat bits. Alright. Just a little bit less than that. Yeah, a little bit. Right, have I managed to destroy my screen? Give it a bit of a swipe. There's something on there. It doesn't matter because we've got that. Not really looking good, is it? It's very pixelated. There we go. Let's give it the old college try. Oh really? Just at tax return time too. So just in case you're wondering what the opal guy is talking about, this stone here is actually one of Riley's. This is Anamika Matrix. I love Anamika Matrix because people don't rate it as a stone. And so that means you can usually get it for quite a lot less than it should be bought for. Riley knew my habits very well and would actually divide up his parcels into tiny little, essentially $1 parcels, and then flood the market, and I'd get all of them. And he was very nice. He would say $10 shipping for all of them. Good night, my friend. Have a good premiere tomorrow. It must still be Friday in the United States, by the way. So me saying Sunday, it'll be Monday for us. The whole dateline thing. So what I'm going to do now is pop this now on the Max front, Jay's for Genius. Interesting things have happened. My computer chair is the chair that I do work with, and there was a perch over the top of it. And I decided that having bird poo go down my back was a OHMS no-no. So I've taken the perch off my chair and I've set it up next to the chair. And if I take Max out today, this will be the first time he'll have actually had to interact with the perch in that way. Very interesting to see them fly over to it. So if worst comes to worst, I can just flip it around and I can use this piece, yeah? So I'm just going to quickly give it a bit of a juice on that side as well, but it's looking pretty good, to be honest. Looking pretty fantastic, this stone. Relatively easy to cut as well. I'll do the other Anamika another day because it's too big. But this guy, yeah. Well, it'd be cool if he actually trusted it all, to be honest, because it's a bit lower too. He likes to be nice and high, that bird. The reason is that he's been under so much stress for so long. The natural tendency for a male is to just get as high and as dominant as possible. And so he tends to want to be higher than most. No, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare. Just hang on a second. Sorry, a drop of water was just heading down towards the flip the camera over button. And I knew it was just going to do that. So I just had to quickly touch it. Okay, so what to do? This is quite a good stone either side. Nice little ring stone, I reckon. When I was at the dentist, they said, the assistant, she said, I really love opals. I'll get one of the offcuts to give to him. Hopefully, we're not going to have any trouble from this camera, but like every time a drop of water lands on it, yeah. What you're seeing there is okay, I'm going to have to clean the camera. Give me 5 seconds. Rotate the vase. Yes, I know. That's looking a bit better. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. Is it still doing its misbehaving? I don't think so. That's good. Alright, so let's quickly just get this done. There's a little bit of detritus here that needs to go. Yeah, but I'll give them an off-cut. It's no skin off my nose, and it's not bad having a dentist who is well disposed towards you, I think. And this guy, I don't know if I can mention names of medical professionals or anything, but he spends a lot of time going off to Cambodia and doing dental and sometimes medical work for people who really can't afford it. So I'm okay with him getting a bit of a rap. His first name's Jason, so there you go. That's all I can tell you. Probably, I don't know. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is, I think I've tested the luck of my camera a little bit too much this time around. I'm just getting this opal to be rounded a bit. Can't go too far with Anamika matrix because they are treated stones. So basically you put them into a solution of sugar and cook it until it becomes carbon, and that's why they look the way they do. But the coating doesn't go in very far, so if you mess around with them too much, the Anamika matrix stone loses its brilliance. So there you go, nice little stone there. Now I want to do something fun. What was I going to do that was fun? Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to really quickly burn through this stone, not literally burn it, but I'm going to just take this corner off. I told people right at the beginning what my course of action with this stone was. Part of it was taking this corner off and taking off any other thin bits. There are a few thin bits here. I also want to decide which direction it faces. So let me have a quick look. Okay, so this side's going. As you can see, it's actually too thin on this side, so this bit's going. Where does the thinness end? Okay, so that entire piece has to go. And that's okay, because that'll become a doublet. There we go. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to carve back this section, the backing of the opal. It needs to be nice and flat anyway. Just so you know, this stone was probably purchased very early on in my hobby, so I didn't quite know what to do with it. And guess what? I know what to do with it now. I think it's funny because, like, I don't think ever in a million years I would have thought to myself that not only would I know what to do with the stone, but I'd be able to pretty much deal with it in 5 minutes. Here's a crack. That's okay. That piece had to go anyway. If it's too pronounced, I will have to cut that stone there. Oh, look at that. Nice little piece of greens to show up. So, let me see. That bit's too thin still. Get rid of that. That bit's a bit too thin and I can't cut it off. Gonna have a look at this, see if there's anything that tells me that I need to be careful with this piece of opal. Here we go, good. That's all it was, just a tiny little spot. Can pretty much be taken down, which is good. Right, so I'm going to also do the other side, even it up, because I still don't know which side I'll be facing. I think I'll be facing the other side, but I don't know for sure. There's a lot to like about this stone. There's also a lot to be careful of, because the sand that was in it meant that those little bits would flake off if we were not careful. This bit is a prime candidate for that. Chunk just flew off and hit me in the eye. Don't worry, I can still see. All 19 of these stones. Hang on. Why is it getting dark and spotty? So that's just a bit of a joke there. Some humour. Yes. Because I am quite amusing. I employ the jokiness to increase the levity of the stream. I don't know why I'm sounding like Winston Churchill. We will cut them on the beaches. We will cut them in the parks and in the streets. We will never surrender. All right. Okay, looks like that side of the bit is facing up. And it's not looking like being too impressive this time. Was there something else I was going to do? I think there was. Where was it? Was it this guy? Maybe, maybe not. You can just see. Perhaps I'm going to give a knobby a try, and then that's it. I'm just looking for a nice knobby that is going to potentially yield us a bit of fun. Here's one that's looking a bit weird. Let's see. Okay, we'll do this one. We'll see what it's doing. my luck, it's probably the leg bone of a plesiosaur or something. You said, never cut it. Okay, a whole lot of nothing. Alright, I'll try and do one more that's kind of more spectacular than that. Let me see. Got one sitting there, but I don't want to just go rifling through them. Alright, we'll do this one, and if be what it may, win, lose or draw, I don't care anymore. So, this is a piece of wood opal. You're not seeing it yet. It's about to come into shot. Ta-da! And I'm going to take this top off. There is a little bit of colour sitting underneath. Let's go. Looking good so far. Doing okay. Let's take the other side off it. Oh, this is looking okay. There is definitely something happening here. Come on, you can do this. I'm going to have to cut it off here because, well, reasons. That gives me a good view into the centre of the stone too. We've got some issues with the centre, I can see that. Let's have a good look at it. Ooh, wow, that's an interesting stone. I'll just give it another bit of a push into the middle because it's certainly got a lot. So, there's a chunk of stuff right in the middle. So what I'm going to do is very maturely pretend that's not there and keep going on this side. Look at that. So this may end up working out, and I'm just going to point out that, you know, pretending that problems don't exist is not a good way to live your life. I was almost cynically saying this. I thought I was going to have to do something more drastic. But instead, I have just given people a terrible life lesson. Okay, good. I think actually maybe it's not, because I think I might have just ruined it. Because I don't see any more colour. Yeah, good. So yeah, ignore that life lesson, because it didn't work out too well. There we go. So I've got that little piece here which I'll cut another time, and this piece here still has some hope. Let's try and inject some hope. It's looking good for a while there, and then it decided to just come apart the moment I gave the bad advice. So this opal, I'm going to call it the wisdom stone, because it does not like bad advice. So the moment I start saying you've got to behave